welcome back to Terra Invicta. Today, I'm going to be going over the results of that resistance campaign in my last video in the Terra Invicta Big Mistakes Beginners Make. I think that was around 2023 when I showcased that to you guys in that video. I am now, want to say, we'll see here, I'm somewhere in 2027 now, and Mars has been fully colonized. So I want to show the results of the strategy. I will explain the approach I got there, and I also want to go over some of the comments in the last video. We can start doing that right here as we load in. So, as the game loads in, I will read through some of these comments. So, just Bina, B-I-N-I-A, not sure how to actually pronounce that. So, the first thing that was interesting, they said that influence is based on world popularity. I've heard that nowhere else. I've never heard another YouTuber say that. I've not seen that on a Reddit post or in a dev diary or anything like that. So that is incredibly interesting. I will for sure have to try that out and test and see if that works. Or try to find somewhere. Whoa, first place we can go check. Codex. Influence. Oh shit, here it is. Codex saves the day again. Yes, is gained from favorable global public population about the faction's ideology. Very interesting. So, just B. That's an incredibly good point about you saying that every choice that gives you popularity you ideally want to take. But in this, you can see my economy. Influence, not a problem. Money, not a problem. In this campaign, mainly, I'm just waiting for good orgs. You can see the strategy. I'm just pumping full admin on all of them. And you can see here, I'm getting all the orgs I need, and the rest of the stats are falling in suit. I will have to say, in this campaign, I have, early 2027, I've killed my first alien. It was hard. It wasn't that hard. I was rolling 50-50s, but I've done a Humanity First campaign where if I full send with 64 special ops, it was pretty much guaranteed to kill them. But that is Humanity First. What's it called? Their specialty with their unique org that they get. Got some unassigned orgs. They're kind of meh. Mainly just waiting more admin orgs for my operative to keep boosting command and espionage, mainly command. Our investigator, our inspector, mainly wanting to boost investigation and espionage and security. So once I hit 25 admin with her, I'll start upgrading the other ones. This person, it never ended up turning into my advise bot. I've not gotten an organization which allows her to do advising. So she's just kind of the admin sync, and she has a lot of, see here, research or like boost, just kind of odd stuff. She's criminal, I gave her that so that way she can pick up the criminal things. Activist, now this is the advise bot. Mainly a lot of things about space research in here. Better economy spoils. She's on chain advising the United States. And this guy is really the... if nobody else can do it, you have it. I mean, he has good words like this 10% for space mining. This brands, which gives a ton of money. My engineering company's here. But just kind of like odds and ends type deal. And if I need somewhere to defend public interest, or I need to Hail Mary and assassinate, which will never work because his espionage is way too low. Or if I desperately need to assault multiple alien assets, I can like full send with him and he can get it done. Control Nation, public campaign, he's pretty good at those. So generally he's kind of the fill the gap in the lineup. So the full send admin thing that just to be was talking about. They say 2-ish counselors, which you can get between 10 and 15 administration who are young, will last most of the game. And you pump admin and then either security or espionage up on so they aren't assassinated. Then the rest of your counselors, who you just slam administration orgs onto until they have 25 admin, and then fill out with other orgs. Then you can pump mission critical stats plus command/persuasion for control cap. When you're at war with 1 to 2 other factions in the mid-game, you will have counselors assassinated, those 4 that you ignored admin on, and just filled up with admin orgs. Those are your decoys. Interesting point. I'm going to continue on with this campaign. I guess we'll see who dies. Josh Trock says admin is the best stats because for every point of admin you get 2 to 3 points of other stats, doubling/tripling your points. Even admin orgs, you normally get 3 to 4 for 1 star, 5 to 6 for 2, or just a plethora of other stats. Being picky about your orgs is also important, trying to funnel every stat to different agents. You should never have star allocation unfilled. Also, star amount is more important than total org count. It's pretty rare when 21 star really beats 2-star org of this, or 2 to 1 star really beats a 2-star org of the same stats. Most of the time they will be equal in stats. So 1 less org is better. Traditionally, I'd say. There are some bigger ones which are just way better. See, like the DEA is not actually that good, but the main caveat is it gives you the mission types. That's kind of like the big thing. Yeah. It's kind of weird, but, you know. Like, this one's really good. 3 administration for 1 administration. Pretty good. Avord Real mentioned something. He said, personally, I think it's worth directly investing for MC in minor states around Russia. My current playthrough was EU, Russia, US eventually, and I found it was easy enough to spoil a few minor nations to the ground, pump that cash and my influence into more MC, then have Russia there to hold said MC and prevent coups. Interesting point. I have not messed around at all with direct investment. If we go to Earth, though, China is still unoccupied. The servants have been in India. I have successfully thrown Britain out of the UK. I can still control this control point. While I had temporary control, I disbanded their nukes. Mexico, the initiative got in here for a bit and burned the GDP to the ground, so that was very sad. Brazil's GDP is getting burned to the ground through multiple civil wars and mainly the initiative. I don't know what it is, but I've noticed in this campaign in particular, nobody is better at burning countries to the ground than the initiative. Like, it's insane. Brazil, I think, starts with like 4.5 trillion GDP, and now it's all the way down to 756 billion. The initiative and the Academy are in control of the EU, and they've been the main warmongers of this playthrough, and we can see by this symbol here, it actually is, because they have the executive, and it's their armies. They're chain warring. It's insane. I did Kazakhstan. I realized through control point, like, I have spare floating control points. I'm just trying to figure out if getting into China is possible. If it is, I'm going in, because the AI has actually done a really good job of, like, the true AI, not even like the factions, of keeping China good. Kazakhstan, I withdrawed from the Russian Federation, so I can keep getting that tasty boost. USA, GDP is down a bit. That is because I've gotten multiple hurricane events, and there was a couple events for lowering GDP for raising Miltech. So I took those because I'm pumping my Miltech. Canada, I've been pumping MC. See here, they've almost caught up. We'll open the priorities tab. I'm getting a ton of MC. My boost, I have enough boost. I just need MC at this point. Canada's integrated. I'm mainly just pumping democracy, economy. At this point, probably go up a bit more on the economy. USA, I'm just pumping all across the board, economy, welfare, I need that to come down. Once that gets back up to 5, I'll peel these off. And then I'm pumping knowledge because I want full democracy and to get the literacy up even more. Mexico is very much in a recovery stage. They have 140 million people. USA 347 million. Canada only 40 million. Once inequality gets low enough and a lot of these things fixes it, I'm already funding their military. Reason for that is eventually I'd like to do the United North America, but I can't allow Mexico to unite with the USA with having nearly half the population that the United States does, but only 3.7 miltech. That will bring the USA's total miltech back down to like 4.5, which I just can't have happen because I've spent the entire game boosting. I might have to just never unite the USA with somebody else. Unless I can get Canada's miltech like really rolling, then nah. Next comment here, alternative funding is reserving your MC and playing for mission to the inner planets in the mid game. 2 to 3 orbitals or settlements on Mercury with nanofactories is not a huge hit to your MC and will solve your economy. You can just have Kazakhstan leave the Eurasian Union, I did do that, and get all of the boosts. Be allied to anyone with an army, fairly certain whoever controls Russia will not attack you no longer. So I've done that. For allies, I've allied up all the countries I control. I've actually had to rival the EU so I can declare war on them, because when they were chain burning Mexico to the ground, they were at war and they wouldn't accept peace, so I just declared war with America on the EU as sort of like a pump fake, and then declared peace separately. So we can go to the moon. This was the first part of the strategy. I never ended up building a mine on the moon. Just as you can see by this over here. Built some mines on Mars, and by this income. So I mainly just did this to block. There's only one noble metal slot on the moon, so I took that. And this was the best water and had all around the rest of the stats. Or, not stats, resources. So I took that. That was pretty much it. You can head back out to the full view here, go to Mars, and we can see all of the sites I control. And I also got Deimos and Phobos. I colonized both of them. So, one for the Academy, one for Project Exodus, one for Humanity First. So, I don't need to assault any of these habs. I won't, because I genuinely want these 3 factions to do well. Because Exodus will tend to space research to better ship parts. I need that. Humanity First is working along the same goals I'm working towards, and so is, to a greater extent, the Academy. I'd only really assault these habs if it's Protectorate, Servants, and Initiative. The more I play around the Initiative in my countries and my games, the more I hate the Initiative, I'll be honest. They just are massive griefers to the world economy. I did notice immediately after mission to the inner planets, mission to asteroids has been completed. I noticed pretty much after I did this, the AI instantaneously researched mission to the asteroids. I assume that has to do with something about all, like, a percentage of, like, the total colonizable, like, locations currently being filled, and then the AI, it's like, you know, I have boost, I need resources, research next colonization thing. So I sent out quite a few. Bases to these asteroids. I put a base on Ceres. I plan on getting all of them because of the wet mass. I'm gonna need a lot for the engines, and yeah, pretty much it's the water. Plan on going Ceres, Mars, Mercury, and just generally leaving Ceres to die. But first, I'm gonna be tapping aliens. I'm gonna build a mine on every Martian thing before I think about going to Mercury, because for all these, it's just one more MC to go here, whereas for the inner planets, it's then one to build the base and one to go here, so it's Another comment here. So for the MC comment I mentioned earlier about the Kazakhstan leaving the EU, that was just to be again, which was the first comment we started with, same person. Another thing is Alvor Rio mentions, one another thing I think people get wrong, it's okay to be aggressive. Everyone is, at best, an ally of convenience. It's okay to stab them in the back, or the front, or preferably both at the same time. Worst comes to worst, you can always bribe them back to peace. That is true. They are an AI, you can bribe them back to peace. But the problem with that notion is you can't bribe them back to being a threat. And if they are a threat to you, they are also in a lot of ways a threat to the aliens. So like, humanity first, I want to use them. I want them to eradicate the aliens and all who support them. I want them to declare war on the servants and the protectorate and coup their countries and kill aliens and kill them. And I want them to take the brunt of the alien hate. And so on that note, for them to do that, they have to have sites like this. They have to have stations in orbit. They have to be useful, because if they're completely neutered, then they can't do anything at all. Then they can't distract the aliens to any capacity. So like here, the servants have one base, but it's missing 3 of the resources. It's honestly not even worth assaulting. And protectorate, it's missing 3 as well. There's this open one, but it literally only has 1. I don't think anyone's going to be colonizing that one. And the initiative only has the metals. Yeah, base metals. So it sucks for them, but hey, I don't really care about them. They can go rot. I don't like their factions. I have a crap load of boost. That's mainly stopped. The only thing that really stopped me, it may seem like the MC cap, but when I did my mass boost for all these bases on Mars, I was actually fine on mission control. The main thing I was lacking was actually boost. So I think everything but 3 is pretty solid. But mainly now with my spare MC, with my spare MC, like here, I have a base set up in here because of this. The noble metals are just really good on that asteroid. I've been probing and boosting to asteroids. Like this one wasn't worth it. I did Psyche. That one's not really worth it. That one's kind of meh. This one's really good. Mainly just looking for this. The noble metals are what we're here for. But yeah, I don't have the MC for it at the moment. You see the protectorate, they've actually gone out to here, so like that would be something worth blowing up at some point and taking that from them. So yeah. So the strategy, I think, worked out in the end. The mass boost to Mars, it worked. I cucked everybody over, and I'm getting a ton of resources. I still have 1. So this one's under construction, so basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then also the moon, so 8, 9, or these are the asteroids. So yeah, so for the actual ones, 8, 9 for the moon, so round it. So it's 9 mines in total that need to be put up. And I've only put up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So way over double of what I have currently is what I have left to get resources from. So I'm going to have a huge amount of resources with this strategy. I think it's strong. Somebody in the comments also mentioned they think Russia is noob bait. I'm gonna have to say yes and no to that. I think Russia is just easy. I don't think that's necessarily good or necessarily bad. I think Russia and the European Union. I think Russia and the European Union is incredibly easy to unite, but that makes it good. It can unite really early and really fast with Kazakhstan. They say the population is garbage. This isn't a good example. Humanity First has been burning it. Their literacy is not that bad. It's mainly pumping it to get democracy back. Inequality at the start is not that bad, so that's not that hard to fix. And their military is okay. I mean, it's not that good. It's still atomic age, but it's not like North Korea level military. I've also seen countries uniting a lot more. Now that's the one thing I don't think I'd ever do, is because South Korea actually has like a 4.3 mil-tech army, and North Korea has that industrial age iron box with wheels that just destroyed their mil-tech, which is why I'm not going to be uniting Mexico and the USA for that exact reason. But yeah, I'm just going to continue pumping, because that's the thing in mind. I'm trying to figure out where to go next. My first idea was, well, I'll go Brazil and do unite South America. Control the Americas is very simple, very simple sphere of influence. But Brazil's been burned to the ground. Like, it's insane. It's not even worth entertaining going to Brazil. 9 inequality, civil war constantly. That's not that hard to fix. No unity. Population's been dying. They're in chain war. It's just like, screw that. Central America for somewhat the same reasons. Generally just no GDP. The thing in Africa, this fractured like almost immediately. I'm thinking of Africa. I'm researching right now global unity movements. The main thing I want to do, but it's kind of hard because my guys aren't good at persuasion, is I want to kick the servants out of India, which is but that's why I've kind of been YOLOing for China, because my public opinion is good. If I can get into China, then I'll have no problems completely filling up my control with China control points. And they have nukes. They have armies. Not that good of armies, but they have armies, and I'll start funding these armies. The main thing will just be spamming out a ton of welfare to get this inequality down, and not flatlining the economy while I do that, and also boosting knowledge a ton, because they're producing a ton of science. If this would get up to like actually advanced knowledge like USA, and they had an actual full democracy, this could be producing so much science, it'd be insane. So yeah, I think the strategy did end up working. I think that is all of the comments as of recording on the last video that I wanted to talk about. The only other one thing is Cast Ash mentioned, well, the thing about the moon, that depends. That all depends if it rolls good. A lot of the games I restart, yes, I'm one of those people. Don't worry, Cash. I am one of those people as well. The moon a lot of times rolls so bad that it can't even support a mining outpost. Another piece of advice, if you want to turn an enemy agent, try and turn their high investigation agent if you can find it. Term him, and the AI like never checked that agent for being a traitor if you turn the fail rate down. Well, that is a something I may have to try. For the first thing about the moon, you're right. I quickly realized that using the moon to like boost my economy to go to Mars is the wrong thing to be thinking about it. Generally, these are basically cucks, right? These are just blockers. Like, this is, oh, this has 3 resources and it's the only source of noble metals? Mine. Oh, this has 4. This is the only tile here that has all 4. Okay, it's mine now. It's just to block people. Yeah. And Mars, I just took, of course, as many the most valuable in a row, like do as fast as I could. Yeah. So the USA is fine, Canada, yeah. Yeah, mainly trying to get into India. I think the next thing I was going for was kicking the servants out of Indonesia, and this was like the next thing, because I don't think I could get into China. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was trying to get Indonesia because of the population, low inequality, high population, decent research. Just needs democracy boosted, and I was thinking of turning this into like another MC producing type deal, getting the democracy up with this high population. If I could get the economy rolling, sort of like an India can, I could really get this going sky high. I think in terms of like powerful nations, I think India is like third most powerful, behind like USA 1 in my opinion, just because of the armies, then China 2 because of the economy and the population, but 3 is definitely India. You can see here the servants, how much it's increasing in the last 30 days. The servants are stupid at making the GDP go good. India is just so good at boosting the economy if you know what you're doing. Like, even though they're full sending funding boost and mission control and putting some into the military and trying to build armies and navies simultaneously, the economy is still booming. That's why in one of my like older videos I wanted to do like an India start, which would be insane. But yeah. So the old Mars strat, I think it worked out well. I got all those tiles, I got all those blockers, and my nations are not completely toast. The next thing I'm going to be trying in between episodes is moving in to Indonesia and India, trying to get into those sections, trying to secure those and remove these 4 nukes from the servants' control. Oh. Ah, okay, I was like, what the heck? I didn't pause the game. They kicked the academy out of India. But yeah, I'm planning on kicking them out of India. Problem is I'm definitely not going to be able to get a coup off. Ooh. Excuse me, bit of a yawn there. And I'm going to have to just boost public opinion and crack down and oust them, because unless I pull a Brazil and just completely toast their GDP, I don't want to throw coups. And like, look at that, 2 investment points. Holy shit. Ethiopia has more. Holy crap. Yeah, this nation, it's just a dead nation. That's so sad. It saddens me especially because I was messing around with some Brazil openings because of their fairly large GDP with like lower population, or not even lower, mainly higher population size, and they start with okay unity, not bad literacy. They're not bad in government. Now it's totalitarian because of all the freaking coups, and okay. The main problem is inequality, so I was experimenting with like Brazil opening, you like pump down inequality. Yeah, very sad. Very, very sad. But I think that's all I wanted to discuss in this video. In between videos, I'm going to continue on with trying to expand and come back to you guys. The main thing, the next video, if it'll be on this playthrough, this resistance playthrough, it will be talking about ship design and probably showcasing a ship battle. So that is all for now. Thank you for joining me on Terra Invicta. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel and help spread this advice and what we're talking about and discussing to more people. Terra Invicta is an amazing game. I think it just has a really high learning curve that may be intimidating to people, especially people who've not done or played strategy games before. So every video that reaches that type of person helps familiarize them with the game, learn some useful advice, and all of the good things. So thank you for watching. and I will see you in the next video.